Well, Cats is coming to the Peace Center next month. You have the chance to see the 7 Tony Award-winning show in a brand new light. And joining me live to talk about the iconic musical is Rum Tum Tugger himself, Hank Santos. Thanks so much for joining us, Hank.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, for starters, for somebody who has maybe never seen Cats before, tell me a little bit about the show.
It's about cats. I tell this to everybody. It's the show itself is a very heavy dance show. It's about Jellicle cats and their lives living in this junkyard together as a tribe. Every year, there's this ball where they choose one cat to go to what's called the Heaviside Lair and begin their next life. And that's really all there is to it. It's just cats being cats.
And you are dressed with the costume and the hair and the makeup to prove it. For you, what is it like to be the rock star of the tribe? What do you love about Rum Tum Tugger?
Oh, it's just fitting. I just love it. It's awesome. I mean, he's such an iconic character, especially throughout the history of musical theater. I mean, I feel like everybody kind of knows Tugger, just because he's so spunky and cool. And like, I remember seeing him when I was like 11 when this tour came through Charlotte, in like 2006, I think it was. And I remember that was the one standout cat for me because I was like, that is cool, man. Like, very Elvis.
Yes, cool is the proper word, I think, to describe him. And I know you have a little piece of Tugger with you always now in the form of some ink. What about this show and that character has meant so much to you?
Well, this show specifically, this is the longest show I've done post-pandemic. I had just begun a tour in March of 2020, and then sort of everything shut down. And for us in our field, there was a ton of uncertainty at that time as to whether or not we were going to work again. And theater just means so much to me. And getting to do this show and getting to receive like the love that I've gotten from the show has like really changed my life. I mean, and this whole experience through its ups and downs and everything has just been like I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I had to commemorate that in the only way I know how, which is with a little bit of ink.
I love it. It's like, a little scrapbook memory right there on your arm. And I know you have
Yeah,
some
yeah, a
Carolina
little piece of Tugger.
roots. Sorry, what were you saying?
Yes, I do. Just a little piece of Tugger with me at all times.
At all times, yeah, absolutely. And I know you have some Carolina roots. You talked about Charlotte, and you went to Coastal Carolina. Tell me about that.
Coastal Carolina, yeah, I was in the BFA program there in the theater department. It was awesome. I mean, it was so nice getting the opportunity to sit and study theater for so long. I do have a bit of a longer theater background. I went to Northwest School of the Arts in Charlotte, and that's sort of where I discovered theater and musical theater. Yeah, and I'm just a Carolina boy all the way.
Well, we're a fan of that here on Midday for sure. And I know this one might be a hard question, as I know it's such an iconic show. I mean, it ran for 18 years on Broadway. But do you have a favorite part of the musical?
Is it conceited to say my number is my favorite?
Oh, that's
Because
so allowed.
it absolutely is. It is rock and roll and dance and fun and just like it's such a good time. And that's the thing about the show is there's really a lot of people see Cats and they might not follow the plot perfectly the first time, because there's a lot going on. But it's just about enjoying what's happening in front of you. And in my number, there's just so much cool stuff happening and so much cool movement. It's just like a good time, which is like, who doesn't want to just have a good time, you know?
Absolutely. And I mean, since we have an expert with us, I had to ask, what is the key to embodying a cat?
Oh boy. You gotta move really sneakily a lot. It's a lot of your head kind of leads your body. We are on the floor a lot through the show. Thankfully, as actors, we get to wear knee pads. But you sort of have to just every movement is calculated. You know what I mean? So we do a lot with our hands, where we just sort of, like we move our head and then we move our shoulders and then we might move our head again. Cats are very crafty,
Yeah.
so you kind of have to move with that.
All right. I think you've sold us. Thank you so much for joining us today, Hank. We can't wait to welcome you and the rest of the cast to the Upstate. Again, Cats is at the Peace Center April 4th through the 9th. Tickets are still available and start at $35. For more information, you can head to foxcarolina.com.
Now